Chase.
Hey Kenny, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. Yeah, I'm Chase the Granular. I'm glad we could take a moment to get together. I know we talked on the phone a couple times, and looking forward to learning more about your operation and showing you more about Granular and what it can do for you.
I appreciate your time. Thank you. Look forward to it.
Absolutely.
Let's start looking at some information. So what do you need to know from me today, Chase?
So kind of some of the things I like to go over first. And if you don't mind, I'm going to take a few notes while
No,
we're
absolutely.
sitting
I
down
have no
talking
problem
here.
with it.
So I know before you said you got around 3,000 acres.
That's correct.
And you use John Deere equipment. Is that correct as well?
That is correct.
Do you track any data with John Deere?
John Deere Ops and use Excel. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Yeah, so the good thing about Granular and John Deere is we have a partnership where we can kind of pull their data into our system, and you can get a little bit of some of your profit maps from us can go onto your John Deere center as well.
So it's already linked with John Deere.
Yep, we will link your account right with John Deere, and everything that is on your equipment will get sent straight to Granular.
Oh,
so
well, that makes it easy.
Kind of replace your Excel sheets for you.
Okay.
So,
absolutely.
are you pretty like tech savvy, or?
I would say I'm middle of the road as far as tech savvy.
Okay.
So I'm in my mid 50s, so I didn't grow up with it, but I've kept up with it, and it's, as you know, changing really, really fast.
Right. No, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely a fast-paced environment. So the nice thing about us is we have a 12-hour a support team that's available 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we have trainers as well. If you signed up with us, our trainers walk you through everything, make sure that you're ready to go before you start using the software. So, do you track, do you do any of your own applications as far as fertilizer goes or chemicals, or do you have?
I usually have all that my applications of fertilizer and chemicals through FS. I will apply anhydrous myself.
Okay.
So I usually have FS do all my fertilization and chemical application.
Gotcha. So you usually just keep track of all your invoices throughout the year?
Yep, keep track of my invoices when they come in. I check them, make sure all the numbers are right. Of course, then a lot of that goes on Excel.
Right.
And I'm assuming that is what you guys are looking at doing.
Yeah,
is kind of taking the place of that.
So we have a professional services team which we can basically have it set up to where you can have FS send them your invoices directly.
Oh, so I don't even
or
have
you
to
can
touch
send
them
to us if you want to, of course, make sure it's coming from you directly, or we can have FS send those to us and you can enter those. Usually during the season, a 5-day delay, and it will be in your account there. So, yeah, I've got a couple sheets here with just some more information on it, kind of about our software and kind of what we pride ourselves on and some of the different features of our software there. So, as you can see there, you have our partner with John Deere, so all your data will come in straight out of there. And then we also have, our web app is where the bulk of your work will be at with all of your stuff on. We also have on our phone where if you're in the combine, if you're in the tractor, and you got a task you need to complete out, you can complete it and track all your time, real time from your phone, but you won't have to do that necessarily because it'll pull straight out of your John Deere.
So basically it's going to go from my John Deere monitor directly to you guys through the cloud or whatever?
Yep, so every week we'll pull all of your John Deere data and put it straight into Granular, or we can even have it automated in some instances. But
so I don't have to even worry about it.
Right, it should all be in there, and then our professional services team, if you do purchase that extra package, they can of course make sure your data is getting entered correctly and there's no mess ups there.
Okay.
From John Deere's end, anyway. But yeah, so kind of like I said, the software, it's not only just tracking field by field tasks and what you've applied year after year. We also like to forecast financials, track financials, and really try and narrow down where maybe you're over applying something here or spending a lot of money on a particular field where you could be putting your resources somewhere else, to try and really track field by field.
So you're matching my inputs against my yield data.
Yep.
To get a return on investment coordination between the two.
One of a lot of our customers' favorite page is our profit analyzer. And essentially you can break it down to by a field, or you can break it down by a product and see how effective that product has been for you and compare it across all your fields.
So you can look at hybrids or whatever.
Right, hybrids, different chemicals you're using, really any product. So
or a combination thereof.
Yep, yeah, all your different mixes. So basically we have a setup page where we'll put in every single individual hybrid you have, we'll put in every chemical you have, and we can also put in all your tank mixes and your dry mixes, your fertilizer mixes.
So can you track my yield mapping? If I was going to do variable rate technology, can you track the yield mapping or when you're saying if I'm over applying or under applying, and then I can do some variable rate technology, and you guys would give me advice on where you think I need it and where you think I would not.
Right. So for granular business, we don't actually have the yield maps on there. And the great thing about working your equipment being John Deere is you'll have the yield maps on there. All granulars and they really give you is an average applied over the whole field.
Yeah.
And not in the individual spots, but there's a lot of our customers that are interested in seeing their yield maps. And so essentially what we do for those guys, we also have another product called Granular Insights, where you get your mapping and you kind of get a...
So it just takes it another step.
Right, it's another step, yeah. But yeah, it's an additional cost, of course. But,
Yeah, sure, there's more to
it's,
it.
yeah, you get live, imagery.
Satellite imagery,
as
infrared.
as your crops go, throughout the growing season, you get your imagery there, and then of course you get your yield mapping as well that way. So,
Interesting.
So then we have a team of agronomists as well that are kind of our support team for that to offer insights throughout the year. And
In the field or by satellite?
typically it's by satellite, but we also have some agronomists that can
Wow.
of course come out to the farm and
That's
kind of
interesting.
advise you throughout the season and keep up with you and make sure everything's looking right.
Yeah, I could see where your return on investment sheet's probably what everybody likes to see the most, and
Yeah,
their
and
profitability.
it's great too. And I forgot to ask you, do you rent any of your land at all, or is you own all?
I don't own it all. I do cash rent.
Okay.
Maybe 1,000, 1,200 acres.
Okay.
Somewhere in there.
So another awesome part about that is we have a land agreements page we can set up as well. So it's going to break down your cost also associated by a landowner, which is really great when you sit down with your landowner at the end of the season or the beginning of the season. You're going over your contract. You can say, hey, this is your field. This is all the stuff, I have all my inputs on it here.
This is what I'm really netting at the end of the day.
You're right. This is the price breakdown. It's really useful when you go into your contract negotiations with really hard
interesting.
evidence. So
Yeah.
you got a lot of data that you can really use to your benefit.
I'd be really interested in looking at this. I also sell seed.
Mm-hmm.
So can I track that inventory and sales through this, or is that going to be a separate
Not the
entity?
sales necessarily, but you can track when it's coming in and out of your inventory.
So I could,
And we could
1,000 units of this hybrid,
Yep.
and then in and out, make sure everything
Yep.
matches.
And we could even tie your financials to it, but it wouldn't directly come up as like a sale type software where you're billing somebody essentially.
I understand.
But it would be useful for tracking your inventory throughout the year and tracking who got what seed on what date and at what price.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
What kind of seed do you sell?
I sell Channel,
Okay.
Golden Harvest, LG, Northrop King. I sell
Right.
all four of those brands.
Okay. Yeah, because
So-
we work really closely with Pioneer, so we
Yeah,
have
I bet you
we
do.
have a lot of Pioneer we have a lot of Pioneer guys that
Yeah.
use our software for just what we're talking about here. And of course, you can use it with any brand of seed. You
Sure.
can- there's tons of different varieties out there. You can create your own custom seeds. You can create your own custom products as well. If you have some random fertilizer mix that's unique to you, or it's your own whatever, you can
Yeah.
add it in there and kind of put your different percentages.
So
of
if you're
nitrogen in it.
pushing one farm high yields, high input, high yields, that's going to break down your profitability at the end of the day.
Yep.
Comparatively speaking.
Right, and then when you go, the great thing about pulling it off of John Deere is, let's say on one field you're putting a mix in of 4 ounces of this product and 8 ounces of another, but then you go to your high yield field, the one you're really pushing, and you're putting 8 and 16 ounces. John Deere's going to catch that, and it's going to be the same in granular as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, you can always go in and change your mixes, your rates, so they're individualized for each field, and it's not just a one size fits all.
When I'm doing, say I'm doing my own chemical application, I would have to enter in the ounces per acre or whatever, or would you guys take that off the FS bill?
So that would come off the FS bill.
Okay.
Which is going to be great because it's almost like we can double check ourselves with what comes off John Deere. Then we can look at your FS bill
And make sure
we'll
that-
put in that invoice so it's tracking your financials, but we'll also see that rate in there and make sure nothing looks
Yeah,
off.
if there was a mistake on the FS billing,
Right.
you guys could catch it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a good way to double check versus what they said on their monitors
Sure,
was
absolutely.
applied and then what you got billed for it. It's a good
Yeah, that's a good double check.
check and balance measure.
All right, so as with everything on this, for a farmer of my size, what kind of cost am I looking at the different tiers of what you guys offer?
So essentially here I got broken down a little bit on this sheet. So the basic granular business software,
And that's the low end.
and this is the low end. around 3,000 acres, you're looking at $1.67 an acre, about $5,000 is what it would come out to a year. And that's your software and, of course, access to support 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. And then aside from that, we have Granular Business plus Premium Onboarding. What Premium Onboarding essentially is our team of data specialists get your account up and running with coordination with the trainer and get all of your inputs in there, make sure all of your John Deere partnerships
How
good
far
to go.
back does this go? Does this start on this year's crop only
So
then?
this one, so this this second tier package here, it'd be just starting out 2020 and going forward. But the big push with this is the premium onboarding, where the data specialists are going to do a lot of the work for you, getting your account set up, all your mixes put in, all your different products, and getting everything set up and ready to go. And then that also includes like our team doing your invoices and pulling all your machine data in for you.
When you say invoices that I'm receiving from FS?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, and you guys would enter all that data.
Yep. So
And then I could pull it up and see that on this farm I used harness and Roundup, and then on another farm I used, whatever.
Yep, it'd be
maybe.
tracked by field.
Okay.
Yep. So the big thing with the premium onboarding is having the professional services team doing a lot of that work for you. So you're not, you're at the end of the week, you're not having to go in there and make sure, did I enter this invoice in Granular? Did I enter this in Granular?
Sure, absolutely.
So it definitely helps out a lot. And if you don't have somebody that kind of runs your office, for you, if you're kind of like doing all the work,
Pretty much do it myself.
Yeah. So it's great to have a team there that can be dedicated to entering all your stuff for you.
Absolutely.
And so that tier's a little bit higher. It's going to come in at $2 an acre.
So about $900
right.
more.
Yep. So, and then our other package which adds on to that historical data, which is great. You already had John Deere. I don't know how long you've been using
About 6-7 years.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So
I could be real close to that 10 years storing up historical data.
Yep. So we can go up to 10 years back with historical data. The great thing about that is, it helps out some of our guys that are transitioning their farms to organic. They have to track up to 10 years and be able to prove, the history of the
see
field.
where that would be huge for them.
Yeah, definitely. And this one for an additional cost, we can go.
What's that one run?
So that one's going to be closer to $250 an
So
acre.
you got $1.67 to $2.50.
Yep. So in this package, we'll pull in all your previous year's data, your 6-7 years, and pull all that in from John Deere, and that way you can look back at your previous year's data, and it's really the profit analyzing, the reports that you can generate with those really speak for themselves when you have years and years and years of data to compare over time.
Now you get the profit analyzing is on every tier,
you're
though,
gonna
right?
get you're gonna get no matter what, and you'll see.
But this one just gives you multiple years.
Right. Yep. You'll see. You can go to any year and do the profit analyzer, but it'll be nice as soon as you're a few months after if you signed up, you could look at 6-7 years worth of data right away instead of waiting till the end of your 2020 year and you still only have the 1 year. You'd have everything that's in John Deere essentially be on Granular.
Okay.
So it's kind of your different options there. So are there any other questions I could answer for you or?
I really appreciate the time, and I'm definitely interested in it. I really am. So when I sign up for this, and I've got these data specialists and all these other people, am I dealing with you anymore personally? Because I'd like to maintain that relationship.
Right, absolutely. So like I'm an account executive with Granular, and an account executive, you probably got a cold call from one of our sales development representatives. And those are just your typical cold calling, trying to generate leads for us, the account executives, and we're
Gotcha.
the
And
guys
then
that
you
go
follow
in,
up.
build the relationship with the customer, and you'll have your trainer if you sign up, who teaches you everything about the ins and outs of the software. You'll have a customer success manager who's almost on call 24/7, especially throughout the planting and harvest to provide you help as well. And of course, you'll have me, because if you signed up with me to be one of my accounts, and
then I could call you and say I'm having this problem. You could direct me to where I need to go.
I'd send you to support or one of our data specialists or to your customer success manager and make sure we get all the issues taken care of.
Well, it's something I'm definitely interested in taking a look at, and I don't know, how do we go about signing up for this?
Yeah,
and
so
on different tiers.
Yeah, right. So I'll draft up a contract essentially, and I'll have a couple different options on there, and you'll basically check which tiers you want.
Okay.
And we'll kind of go over, how many years of data you want if you wanted to backfill your data in.
Okay.
We could go through all that, and yeah, we could get together next week sometime, and
That
I
would
can
be
I could bring in
perfect.
those proposals, and we can get something figured out.
That would be great. I would appreciate it. Now, can we pull this up on your laptop, or can I actually see the outline of the way the data looks?
Right, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I could pull it up right now, and I could give you kind of a rundown on like.
We don't need
like
to
a
do it
demo
right
account.
now, but that's something I'd like to see is what the format looks like. You know,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
what I'll
definitely.
be looking at.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, when we get together
I'm
next
sure
week
it's
sometime,
just-
and I could pull it up and kind of give you a brief run through of it, and
That would be awesome.
you have
Yeah.
a good idea of what you're looking at.
Get the contract made up. I will talk to my wife and the couple of my other guys that help me with the farming business, and we'll
Gotcha.
look at it next week and maybe get it signed up.
Great. Gotta double check it with the decision maker.
Absolutely. I don't want to get in any trouble.
That's right. Smart guy.
All right, Chase.
All right,
It's been a
Kenny, well,
pleasure.
yeah, it's been great. Thank you very much. I
Hey,
appreciate it.
I appreciate it too. Thank you.